Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're going to do something a little different. Usually, we're looking at tech trends or historical mysteries, but today we are walking straight into the dark.
Yeah.
But not the kind of dark you're used to. We aren't talking about a power outage or a spooky basement or that feeling you get when you turn off the lights and have to run up the stairs.
No, this is a different breed of darkness entirely.
Yeah.
We're talking about the kind of darkness that, doesn't care if the sun is shining.
Right.
The kind that sits down next to you on a park bench, or in this case, on a rooftop, in the middle of a beautiful summer afternoon.
Exactly. We are tackling a really fascinating and, I gotta say, frankly terrifying set of texts from the legendary Dean Koontz.
A master of the genre.
Absolutely. We are doing a comprehensive deep dive into his novella, Darkness Under the Sun, and then we're going to connect it directly to an excerpt from the novel that follows it, What the Night Knows.
And just to set the stage for everyone listening, these two stories they're inextricably linked. You can't really have one without the other.
They inform each other.
Completely. Darkness Under the Sun operates almost like a prequel, or maybe a foundational myth, for the events of What the Night Knows. It sets everything up.
It establishes the rules of the universe.
Yes, exactly that. It establishes the rules. It introduces us to a very, very specific brand of evil.
And what a brand of evil it is. We aren't just talking about a bad guy with a gun or something simple like that. We're talking about psychology, we're talking about trauma, and what you've referred to in our pre-show notes as transmissible evil.
That's the core concept here. Transmissible evil. It sounds like a disease, doesn't it?
It does, like a virus.
Like a virus or a contagion.
It is.
And that is exactly how Koontz treats violence and malevolence in these stories. It's not just an act. It's a thing. A force that can jump from person to person, bridging decades and just destroying lives.
So our mission today is to unpack this psychological duel. We have a scarred young boy, a charming monster, and a secret that burdens an entire lifetime.
A heavy secret.
Oh, incredibly heavy. And I want to give a genuine heads up to our listeners right now.
Yeah.
This is heavy stuff. We are dealing with serial killers, child endangerment, severe trauma, and some pretty visceral horror.
Yeah, this is definitely lights on listening. If
Yeah.
you're driving alone at night, maybe check the back seat.
Seriously, don't say we didn't warn you. So, let's set the scene. We are traveling back in time. The year is 1989.
The tail end of the 80s. It's such a fascinating time to set a horror story.
Why do you say that?
Well, you have to remember the context. No cell phones,
Right.
no internet to instantly background check some weird guy you just met. Real GPS to track where your kid is.
It was a time of perceived safety, that whole be home when the streetlights come on vibe, but also you were incredibly isolated if you got into trouble.
Exactly. If you were stuck on a roof with a maniac, you couldn't just text your mom for help. You were on your own.
A terrifying thought.
And the setting here is so crucial. We're in a small, unnamed town. It's hot. It's that midsummer heat that radiates off the pavement, makes the air shimmer.
You can almost feel it.
You can. And our specific location for the start of this story is, well, it's unusual. We aren't in a house, we're on a roof.
The roof of Boswell's Emporium. It's an abandoned department store. It's this massive, empty shell of a building. But the roof, it offers this unique vantage point.
It's an observation deck for the lonely. From up there, you can see the whole town laid out like a model train set. You can see people shopping, walking, just living their lives.
And watching them from this perch is our protagonist, Howie Dugley.
Howie's the anchor of this entire narrative. I mean, if you don't understand Howie, you just don't understand the story. He is 11 years old.
But he doesn't look like the other 11-year-olds.
Not at all.
Let's talk about that, because his physical reality, it really defines everything that happens to him. Howie stands out in a way he can't control.
He does. Howie is a burn survivor. And we aren't talking about a small scar in his arm. This is severe, disfiguring burn scars, covering the entire left side of his face, his scalp, his ear. It runs all the way down his neck and arm.
And his hand.
And his hand. He's missing 2 fingers on his left hand. He only has the thumb, index, and middle finger left.
And the backstory of these scars, I mean, it's not an accident. This wasn't playing with matches or some kind of kitchen mishap.
No. This is where the trauma element comes in, and it's just heartbreaking. When Howie was 5 years old, his father, a man consumed by jealous rage and despair, decided to commit a murder-suicide.
Unbelievable.
He took 5-year-old Howie to a motel room. He waited until the boy was asleep, and he poured gasoline over the bed.
God, it's just unimaginable cruelty to do that to your own child.
The father intended to burn them both. He wanted to wipe the slate clean in the most violent way possible. And this is a detail that just speaks volumes to the cowardice of this kind of evil. The father lost his nerve to burn himself.
He couldn't go through with it for himself.
He couldn't strike the match for himself, but he had already lit the fire for his son.
So Howie wakes up.
He wakes up choking on fumes. He sees the fire. He was 5 years old, terrified, surrounded by flames. And this is the detail that really stuck with me from the text. Even at 5, his instinct was survival.
Pure survival.
Yes. He didn't just curl up. He pressed his hand over his left eye.
He sacrificed his hand to save his sight.
That's why he still has his vision. He lost his fingers to the fire, but he protected his eye. That single split-second decision tells you everything you need to know about Howie Dugley.
He's a fighter.
He's a survivor. He is resilient. As he puts it in the story, he's been butt-kicked by life, but he isn't broken.
But society doesn't see the resilience, does it? They just see the scars.
Right. In 1989, and frankly even today, a disfigured child is often treated as a pariah. He is stared at, whispered about, or worse, he's bullied.
There's a specific bully, Ron Bleecker.
Ron Bleecker, who just torments him relentlessly, calls him a freak. So Howie, naturally, retreats.
He goes to the cemetery, which is just so sad in itself, that he feels more comfortable among the dead than the living. Or he climbs up to this roof.
His safe space. And from there, he watches what he calls the parade.
That's such a poignant metaphor. The parade.
It is, isn't it? It
Right.
perfectly encapsulates his alienation. He watches the normal people marching by, doing normal things, buying groceries, holding hands, laughing, and he fundamentally believes he cannot join that parade.
He feels disqualified.
Exactly. He believes his appearance is a disqualifying factor for humanity. He is separate. He is other.
So he's up there on his island in the sky, feeling safe because he's alone. He thinks the roof is his sanctuary, until one day he turns the corner of the elevator shed. And he isn't alone.
This is it. The inciting incident, the moment the world tilts on its axis for him, he runs into a man sitting in the shadow of a chimney.
Enter Alton Turner Blackwood.
Now, usually, when a child meets a stranger on a roof in a horror story, the instinct is immediate fear.
Run.
Panic. Run away. But Koontz flips the script here in a really interesting way. Howie isn't afraid.
Why not? Because when you read the description of Blackwood, he sounds terrifying.
He is objectively terrifying.
Yeah.
He's huge, 6'5" or 6". He has a malformed skull that looks misshapen. His features are mismatched, one eye lower than the other. His hair is greasy, described as looking like tangled spiders.
Ugh.
Koontz literally describes him as looking like a movie monster. And he has these shovel-sized hands.
Shovel-sized hands. That is a detail that just sticks with you. Hands made for digging or burying.
Exactly. But Howie doesn't run. And he doesn't run because he sees a reflection. Howie looks at this monster and thinks, "You're like me."
It's a kinship.
Precisely. Howie is used to people recoiling from his burns. He's used to adults looking away or other kids screaming. But Blackwood looks him dead in the eye. He doesn't flinch. He smiles.
And he speaks to him not like a child and not like a victim. He speaks to him like a peer.
This is the beginning of the grooming process.
Yeah.
And it is incredibly sophisticated. Blackwood introduces himself as a dreamer and a drifter.
Which sounds so romantic, doesn't it? It sounds like something out of a Jack Kerouac novel. I'm just a drifter, man.
He reframes his homelessness as freedom. He tells Howie, "I go where the wind takes me. I answer to no one. I sleep where I want." To a boy who feels trapped by his scars, trapped in his small town, trapped by his trauma. That sounds like magic.
He's selling him a fantasy.
Completely. And then they have this moment. The But Ugly Club.
Ah, this part is brilliant.
It's a master stroke of manipulation. Blackwood acknowledges that they are both ugly by societal standards, but he makes it a joke. They compare features. They laugh about who would win a scare-em contest.
I bet I could scare more people than you. No way! Look at my face! For Howie, this is just intoxicating. No one has ever laughed with him about his scars. They've only ever laughed at him.
Blackwood is validating his entire existence.
Yeah.
He's saying, we are the same, we are monsters, and you know what? That's okay.
And then the hook is set. Blackwood says, "I'm hungry. Are you hungry?"
The breaking of bread. It's one of the oldest rituals in human history, right? Sharing food creates a social contract. It implies safety. It implies trust.
Blackwood pulls out a roll of cash, a thick roll, and he peels off $30.
Okay, we have to pause here. We have to contextualize this. $30 in 1989 for an 11-year-old kid?
That's a fortune.
It is an absolute fortune. That's like handing a kid $100 today just to go buy lunch. It signals power. It signals resources. It signals, I can take care of you.
He sends Howie to the deli, and he has a very, very specific order.
Roast beef, Swiss cheese, egg bread.
Mayonnaise on one side, mustard on the other. Don't forget that part.
Right. It's the specificity of a man who indulges his appetites. He knows exactly what he wants, and he knows how to get it. He is a creature of pure desire.
But there's a red flag, a literal physical red flag that Howie sees.
The money.
Howie takes the bills, and he notices they are stained. Dark, muddy red stains.
Sounds sticky.
Blackwood just waves it off immediately. He says, oh, it's just mud. I fell in a ditch. Or maybe some ketchup. But
Howie knows.
Yeah.
Deep down in that reptilian part of his brain that has been honed by trauma, he knows it's blood. But, and this is the real tragedy of loneliness, he suppresses that instinct.
He wants the friend more than he wants the safety.
Exactly. He ignores the evidence of his own eyes because he is just that desperate for connection.
He takes the blood money, he goes to the deli, he buys the sandwiches.
This is the point of no return. By spending that money, by bringing the food back to the roof and sitting there eating with Blackwood, Howie is entering into a pact. He is, quite literally, breaking bread with the devil.
They eat, they talk, the sandwiches are delicious, and Blackwood just deepens the manipulation. He tells him, there's a place for you in the parade if you want it. He builds Howie up.
And Howie, feeling empowered, feeling seen for the first time in his life, makes the offer. He thinks he's had a brilliant idea.
Right.
He tells Blackwood about the apartment over his mother's garage.
It's empty. It's available. Howie's mom has been looking for a tenant. And Howie thinks, if I can get this big, strong, scary-looking guy to live in our garage, Ron Bleecker and the other bullies will never touch me again.
He's trying to hire a bodyguard.
Yes.
He's trying to solve his trauma by inviting a monster into his home, thinking it's his monster.
It's heartbreaking because the logic is sound. From an 11-year-old's perspective, I need protection. This guy looks like a monster but acts like a friend. Perfect.
Exactly. But Blackwood plays it cool. He doesn't say yes immediately. He's a predator. He knows not to seem too eager. He says, maybe, but I'm particular. I need to see what I'm getting into. Bring me photos.
Bring me photos of the house and your family.
That request right there. That should set off air raid sirens in your head. Why does a potential tenant need photos of the landlady and her daughter? But Howie is so eager to sell the apartment, to prove that his family is nice, that he agrees without a second thought.
So the sun goes down. The idyllic afternoon ends. Howie goes home. He digs through the closet.
He finds the photo albums. He picks a picture of the house, a picture of the garage with the beautiful beech tree, and a picture of his mother, Nora, and his 16-year-old sister, Corinne.
He picks a photo where they look happy, where they're smiling. He wants Blackwood to like them.
I mean, think about what he is actually doing here. He is curating a menu.
Oh, wow.
He is literally handing a predator a target package. Here is the location. Here are the access points. Here are the women inside. Here is what they look like.
It just makes you want to reach through the pages and stop him.
It does. It's the definition of dramatic irony. We, the readers, know what Blackwood is. How he doesn't.
He puts the photos in an envelope. He rushes back to Boswell's Emporium.
Now the atmosphere shifts completely. We leave that sunny rooftop behind. Howie has to sneak back into the store to meet Blackwood. It's night. The store's abandoned, dark, full of shadows and mannequins covered in sheets that look like ghosts.
It's classic horror atmospheric building. He creeps up the stairs. He expects to find Blackwood waiting for him, smiling, ready for his sandwich.
But Blackwood isn't there. Or at least, he's not visible.
So Howie goes to where Blackwood's gear is stashed. He sees the backpack. And curiosity, that fatal flaw in so many stories, takes over. He looks inside.
And he finds a stack of Polaroids.
And we've all seen this trope in movies, right? Finding the killer's trophies. But Koontz writes it with such a building sense of dread, how he starts flipping through them.
It's a narrative in pictures. The first photo is of a young woman, pretty, blonde. She looks frightened, but maybe theatrically frightened. You could almost imagine it's a joke.
The next photo shows her with wounds, slashes on her face, but Howie thinks, that looks like makeup. That looks like special effects.
He's rationalizing again. He so wants to believe his new friend is just a dreamer, maybe an artist. Maybe he works in movies. Anything but the truth.
But as he flicks further, the rationalization breaks. The wounds get deeper. The fear gets too real. The light just leaves her eyes.
The final photos are of a corpse. A mutilated corpse. And Howie realizes The game on the roof, the scare-em contest, the monster face Blackwood made, that wasn't a mask. That was the truth. The nice guy eating the sandwich was the mask.
And if that psychological blow wasn't enough, reality comes crashing in. Howie hears a noise. He stumbles back into the dark store, away from the backpack.
And he bumps into something on the floor.
Ron Bleecker?
The bully. The kid who made his life so miserable.
But Ron isn't bullying anyone anymore. Howie finds his body.
And let's describe the tableau, because it's specific. It's not just a killing, it's an arrangement, it's a message.
Ron is, depending on the report, either pinned to the wall or crumpled on the floor, but the mutilation is specific. His ears. His ears have been severed.
And placed in his own hands.
And next to the ears, black feathers. Raven feathers.
It's an art project for a psychopath. Blackwood calls himself Death Harvesting Lives. He leaves his signature.
In that one moment, Howie's entire world shatters. The red on the money was blood, probably Ron's blood, or the girl in the photos. The drifter is a serial killer.
And then the realization hits him like a physical blow, worse than the fire. He has the envelope.
Oh my God, Blackwood has the photos?
He knows where the house is. He knows what Nora and Corrine look like. He knows about the garage apartment.
And he is probably on his way there right now to do to them what he did to the girl in the Polaroids.
The hunt is on. But this is where Koontz introduces a brilliant constraint that ramps up the tension to an almost unbearable level. Usually, in a thriller, the hero realizes the danger and sprints home. But Howie cannot run.
Right. The scars. We mentioned them at the beginning, but they are absolutely crucial now.
His skin grafts are tight. They don't have the elasticity of normal skin. If he runs flat out, he risks tearing his skin open. He risks severe infection. He could literally rip himself apart.
So he has to move with intuition. That's the word the book uses. He has to move efficiently. He has to take the shortcuts he knows from hiding in the cemetery all those years.
It turns the race into this tactical nightmare. He's moving through the shadows. His heart is pounding. Adrenaline is screaming, run in. But his own body is forcing him to pace himself. It's horrible.
He gets to the house. It's dark. All the lights are off.
He circles to the back, and he sees it. The glass on the back door has been cut.
A perfect circle removed near the lock. The classic, quiet burglar entry.
The predator is inside the house.
I mean, just imagine the courage here. You are 11 years old, you are unarmed, you are physically compromised, and you know a giant with shovel-sized hands who cuts people up for fun is inside your house with your family.
Most people would freeze or run for help. Howie doesn't flee. He goes to the garden. He picks up river stones, smooth, heavy stones that line the flower bed.
David and Goliath.
Literally, he slips through the broken door. He enters the kitchen. It's dead silent. He moves to the hallway.
And then the voice, out of the darkness. Hello, son.
And a knife flies past his head.
Swack. It embeds itself in the doorframe, inches from his face.
Blackwood isn't playing anymore. The seduction is over. He's hunting. He's throwing to kill.
So Howie screams. He yells, Mom, get the gun.
Now, do they actually have a gun?
They do. Nora bought a revolver after the fire, terrified the father would get out of prison and come back. But it's in a drawer upstairs. It's not in her hand.
But the bluff, it creates a moment of hesitation. Blackwood doesn't know where the mother is or if she's armed.
And Howie starts throwing the stones. He's not just throwing at Blackwood. He's throwing at the house. He smashes a window. He smashes a vase.
He is creating chaos.
Yeah.
He's breaking the rules. Predators like Blackwood rely on silence. They rely on control. They want to do their work in the dark. Howie's taking that away. He's waking the neighbors. He's turning the lights on, metaphorically.
One of the stones actually hits Blackwood, splits his scalp.
So now the monster is bleeding. The element of surprise is gone. The neighborhood dogs are starting to bark. Blackwood calculates the odds. He's a survivor, too, in his own twisted way. He decides to bail.
He runs out the back door, but he stops on the lawn.
This is the moment. The moment that haunts the next 20 years of Howie's life. He turns to Howie, who's standing in the broken door frame clutching a rock, and he delivers the ultimatum.
He says, if you tell the police about me, if you tell them what I look like, I will come back.
I'll return. I'll peel your mother's face off. I'll spend weeks cutting up your sister.
Keep my secret and I'm gone forever.
It is a deal with the devil. Silence for safety. A choice no child should ever have to make.
And as Blackwood turns to run into the cemetery, something swoops down from the sky.
A massive raven. It grazes Howie's head with its wing, and it follows Blackwood into the darkness.
It's the first real hint that this isn't just a man. He has a familiar, a guardian. Something supernatural is at play.
So the police arrive, the lights are flashing, the neighbors are gawking, And Howie is standing there, holding this terrible, terrible secret.
And he lies.
He tells him it was stupid kids, probably the bullies who hated him, Ron Bleecker and his friends.
And he uses his scars to make the lie work.
This is such a profound psychological insight into the life of the disfigured. Howie knows that adults are uncomfortable looking at him. He knows the police officer doesn't want to scare at his burns. So he looks the cop right in the eye, knowing the cop will look away first.
He uses their pity as a shield to hide his deception.
And it works. They buy it completely. They file a report about vandalism and a break-in. They don't look for a giant serial killer.
But the cost, the moral cost of that lie, is just astronomical.
Howie knows Ron Bleecker is dead in that store. He knows he's obstructing a murder investigation. He feels responsible. He feels like an accomplice.
So he makes a vow. To balance the scales, he decides he will never tell another lie. And a white lie, not legal polite fiction, nothing. He will be radically honest for the rest of his life.
It's his penance. He pays for that one life-saving lie with a lifetime of absolute truth.
But Blackwood, he doesn't just disappear, does he?
No. He honors the letter of the deal. He doesn't kill the family, but he violates the spirit. He starts the psychological torture.
1 year later, the anniversary of the break-in. Howie gets a letter. No return address.
He opens it. Inside is a single sentence. I still remember your delicious sandwiches.
Chills. Every time I hear that line, it's so mundane and so horrifying.
And inside the envelope, a black raven feather.
It is the perfect terror. It says, I know where you are. I haven't forgotten. I am watching.
And it becomes a ritual every single year.
Every year. Sometimes the feather is on his windowsill. Sometimes it's tucked into a library book he's reading. Once it was inside his shoe.
I mean, think about the impossibility of that. How does a drifter, a wanted man, find him every year? How does he get into the house to put a feather in his shoe without waking anyone?
It implies omnipotence. It implies that Blackwood is more than human. He's something else.
And it keeps Howie in this state of perpetual hypervigilance. He can never relax. He is always waiting for the other shoe to drop or for the feather to appear.
Then the news breaks, October 25th.
Blackwood makes national headlines. He didn't just drift away. He escalated.
The reports say Alton Turner Blackwood has slaughtered 4 entire families.
Mothers, fathers, children, wiped out completely.
And he is finally stopped. He is killed by the sole survivor of the 4th family, a 14-year-old boy named John Calvino.
Remember that name, John Calvino. He shoots Blackwood in the face with a shotgun. Ends the reign of terror.
But then the details emerged from the investigation. Blackwood kept a journal.
And in that journal, he wrote about his evolution as a killer. He wrote that he used to just kill individuals, drifters, loners, but he was inspired to aim higher. He was inspired to destroy families.
And the inspiration?
A young boy who made good sandwiches.
Howie.
Imagine that weight crashing down on a teenager. Howie realizes that by showing Blackwood those photos, by showing him the cozy family life, the happy mother and sister, he gave the monster a new appetite.
He wasn't just a victim. In a way, he was the muse.
That is a burden that would crush most people. I showed him what a family looks like, so he went out and destroyed 4 of them. It's an unbearable thought.
Let's fast forward. 20 years have passed.
Howie is 32. He has built a life for himself. He's a realtor.
Which, given his vow of honesty, is kind of hilarious. Yes, this house is charming, but the basement smells like mildew and the neighbors play the drums at 3 a.m.
But he's successful because people trust him. He's married to a woman named Felicity. He has 3 kids, Mia, Leo, Josh. He has finally joined the parade.
But he still gets the feather every single year.
Until one night, he's reading in his chair, and suddenly, he feels it. A physical lightness.
The dread just evaporates. He knows intuitively that the connection is broken. The threat is gone.
He goes to his desk. He pulls out an envelope. Inside is $7.
The change from the $30? The blood money. He kept it for 20 years.
He takes it to the backyard and he burns it. He watches the muddy red stains turn to ash.
He thinks he's free. But because he is Howie, because he is the observer, he can't let it go. He checks the news.
And he sees a story about John Calvino. The boy who killed Blackwood is now a homicide detective.
And Calvino is in the news because a Blackwood copycat is killing families again.
And Calvino's own family was targeted in the latest attack.
Howie makes the call. He tracks down Detective Calvino.
This conversation is the bridge between the 2 stories. It's brief, but it is electric with unspoken understanding.
Yeah.
Howie says, I'm the sandwich boy.
And Calvino knows exactly who he is. He's been waiting.
Howie asks, is it over? And Calvino says, I've been waiting for something too.
They both acknowledge the truth without saying it. The man died, but the thing, evil, it didn't die.
It's transmissible, it jumped, it waited, and now it's back.
The novella ends with a scene that gives me goosebumps every single time I read it. Howie is at the park with his family. It's a beautiful day. He finally feels safe.
And a raven lands on the grass right behind his daughter Mia.
Howie scares it off with a frisbee. He laughs it off, tries to pretend it's nothing. But the next morning,
The feather is on the kitchen table.
the cycle hasn't ended. It has just restarted.
It's a terrifying conclusion. It tells us that you can't kill evil with a gun. You can only hold it back for a little while.
And that leads us perfectly into the excerpt from What the Night Knows. This is the sequel. This is where we see what that evil looks like when it finds a new host.
We shift perspectives now to John Calvino. He is our protagonist. He's our hardened detective. But he's terrified because the pattern is repeating itself.
In this excerpt, Calvino goes to a high-security mental hospital.
And of course, it's storming outside. The pathetic fallacy where the weather mirrors the mood. It's dark, rainy, oppressive.
He is there to interview a 14-year-old boy named Billy Lucas.
Billy Lucas is deeply disturbing. He murdered his entire family, mother, father, grandmother, and sister.
And not just murdered, butchered, in the exact style of Alton Turner Blackwood.
But Billy doesn't act like a traumatized kid or even a psychopathic one. He just sits there, perfectly calm.
Koontz describes his voice as measured and mellifluous. It's smooth, it's sophisticated.
It's the voice of an old soul, a very dark, very old soul in a 14-year-old's body.
He refers to himself in the third person. Billy did this. Billy is tired.
It's either extreme dissociation or it's possession. And then he calls the detective Johnny.
That's the detail that stops Calvino's heart. Only his dead parents ever called him Johnny.
And Billy talks about ruin with a capital R. He says, I planned to kill them long, long ago.
He's 14. How could he possibly plan it long ago?
Exactly. He is claiming a history that predates his own birth. He is telling Calvino, I've been here before, we've met before.
And then the interview just goes completely off the rails. Billy stands up, and he does something foul.
He urinates on the glass partition, separating them.
But it's not just normal.
I know. The fluid is dark, dark as crude oil. And the smell hits Calvino through the ventilation system. Sulfur, spoiled fruit, rotting meat.
It smells like hell.
It does. And as the dark liquid runs down the glass, Calvino looks at Billy's face through the distortion.
And the face melts.
It dematerializes. The features slide off. The bone structure shifts and reforms. It's like looking at a ghost.
It's the visual confirmation of everything Howie and Calvino feared. Billy Lucas is just a suit. He's a vessel.
The darkness that sat on the roof with Howie. The darkness that killed Calvino's parents. It is currently wearing Billy Lucas.
Ew.
And for a moment, it is showing its true face.
It creates this terrifying continuity. Evil isn't a person, it's a parasite.
It jumps from host to host. It remembers the sandwiches. It remembers Johnny. It holds a grudge across generations.
So after all that, what are the big takeaways here? What is Koontz really telling us about the world?
I think the core theme is the proximity of evil. The title says it all right. Darkness under the sun. We want the monster to be in the haunted house at midnight.
Because then we can just avoid the haunted house.
Exactly. But Koontz puts the monster on a sunny roof, eating roast beef. He puts the monster in a polite 14-year-old boy. He's saying that evil hides in plain sight.
It wears a mask of friendliness, or pity, or innocence.
And that's the real danger. You let your guard down for the nice stranger. You let your guard down for the quiet kid down the street.
We also have to talk about trauma as a kind of superpower.
Yes, Howie Dugley. His scars defined him, but they also saved him.
He developed an intuition. He learned to read the micro-expressions and the intentions that other people miss.
He survived the fire. And because of that, he was able to survive Blackwood. His pain became his armor. You can contrast that with Billy Lucas. We don't know much about him, but whatever his life was, he was consumed. Howie resisted.
And finally, the symbolism. We have to touch on the raven.
The raven is the constant observer. It's a reminder that privacy is an illusion. The evil is always watching. It's spy.
And the sandwiches. I will never look at a sandwich the same way again.
It's the perversion of communion. Breaking bread is supposed to be a holy act of fellowship. Here, it was a transaction with the devil.
It's a cautionary tale about who you let into your life, who you take money from.
And it leaves us with that provocative thought for you to chew on. If evil can jump bodies, if it remembers your secrets, if it remembers the kindness you showed it, is anyone ever truly safe?
The feather on the table suggests no.
Vigilance. That's the only defense, constant vigilance.
On that cheery note, we are going to wrap up this deep dive.
Watch the shadows.
And maybe stay off the roof. Until next time.